the tender age of 28, and within 2 years it delivered a World Series ending an 86-year drought, and then repeated that 4 seasons later with another World Series. And you can already see, Amy, he's got Jed Hoyer coming from San Diego to be his general manager. Jason McLeod, who's a VP in San Diego, was scouting director in Boston, will also be joining them. It wouldn't surprise me if Dave Finley, one of Theo's special assistants, has been with the Red Sox from the time Theo got here, 10 years, will also join them. Theo is basically assembling the dream team that put together the Red Sox championship team. So he promised when he got to Boston a scouting and player development machine, and he delivered. And I think that is going to be his first and primary task in Chicago, is to rebuild their farm system and start churning out the prospects.
Gordon Needs of ESPNBoston.com with us here on SportsCenter tonight on ESPN Radio, ESPNRadio.com. Now I'm going to ask you, just as a baseball guy, you've covered this team, the Red Sox, as well as the sport for a long time. If, in fact, Theo Epstein is the guy who ends up bringing a championship to Chicago, after he's already done that in Boston, what does that make him? Where does that put him in baseball lore?
Amy, it's simple. He does not have to pass go. He goes directly to Cooperstock. I mean, he can't invent the farm system like Branch Rickey did, or break the color line like Rickey did, but he certainly can mark himself as one of the greatest general managers of all time if he were to deliver a World Series to the Cubs. And I think that was part of the attraction. I don't think it was his primary motivator. I think his primary motivator was that after, next year would have been his 10th season as general manager with Boston. I think he looked at where he is chronologically. He's 38 years old. He was ready for a change. The Cubs thing came along at just the right time for him to make that change.
So gut instinct, Gordon, can he do it?
I don't think he can do it overnight. It's going to take a little bit of time. We all know that he's saddled with some bad contracts in Chicago, and they're coming off a couple of rough seasons in a row. But I wouldn't put it past him. I mean, I think his track record speaks for itself. I think the new ownership with Tom Ricketts is motivated to spend what it's going to take to win a championship in Chicago. And, the guy who's going to have the real tough act to follow is the guy who becomes general manager in Boston, and that's Ben Cherington.
Gordon Needs, ESPNBoston.com, working late on a Friday night. At least you had plenty of time to prepare for this story, Gordon. We appreciate the time. Thanks so much.
All right, you got it, Amy.
And, of course, you'll be able to check out more from Gordon on ESPNBoston.com. As he said, the compensation package not yet decided. So this strange dichotomy that Theo Epstein will have to negotiate the compensation for the Cubs in his new role with Chicago with the general manager who's following him in Boston. But if there is anyone who can do it, this guy's a rock star. Second season as the Red Sox GM was when they broke their 86-year drought and finally won a World Series. It's SportsCenter tonight here on ESPN Radio, ESPNRadio.com. I'm Amy Lawrence, and dark day in the World Series just means a whole lot of time for everyone to speculate about Albert Pujols, his error in the top of the ninth inning in Game 2 that allowed the Rangers to rally and grab the game in St. Louis, of course, evening up the series at 1 apiece. Nobody could find Albert Pujols after the game to talk about that mishandled cutoff throw. Nobody could find him to answer questions of any sort, but in Arlington today, he answers for himself.
I guess the way you guys are bringing me up, I guess I need to stay tomorrow in the clubhouse until you guys decide to talk to me. Yes, I guess. I mean, my responsibility I have is with God. I don't have responsibility with anybody else, I mean, try to do the best that I can to get away. So if I do that, I mean, sometimes you're going to make a mistake. Did I feel it last night I made a mistake? I don't think so. I was waiting if nobody approached me. I mean, what can I do?
According to Albert Pujols, he was waiting. Nobody came to him and said, hey, we have a request to do an interview with you. Now, that's not the take of some of the media, including ESPN's Tim Kirchin. You will hear his perspective as we head through this hour of SportsCenter tonight here on ESPN Radio. But coming up, NFL Week 7 with plenty of quarterback changes, and the one we thought we would see in the silver and black may not be so much a guarantee anymore. We've got that story straight ahead here. SportsCenter tonight, ESPN Radio, ESPNRadio.com.
It's a huge sports weekend, and Mike and Mike is the place to talk about it all Monday morning long. We'll be talking football with Chris Carter, Mike Ditka, and Eric Mangini, plus World Series baseball with Buster Olney and a whole lot more. It's a great weekend, and it's Monday with Mike and Mike on ESPN Radio.
Yes. I goes to the battery.